My parents kicked me out of the house at the behest of my sister, but unaware I was the one who's secretly paying for my sister's school fee, so I sobbed. What happened next? They say blood is thicker than water, but I learned something else. Loyalty means nothing to people who only love what you give them. And the day my parents kicked me out of the house, I didn't cry, I didn't beg, I didn't even explain. Because the truth was simple. They kicked me out at the request of my sister, the very sister whose college tuition I had been paying for in secret. They thought they were punishing me. They had no idea they were cutting off the only rope holding their perfect little world together. So, I left. And then, I let everything fall. My name is Emily, and I'm 26 years old. I used to think that love from family was unconditional, that no matter how quiet, how different, or how overlooked I was, at the end of the day, my parents would still stand by me. I don't believe that anymore. For years, I lived in a small 2-bedroom home with my parents and my younger sister, Mia. She's 18, beautiful, charming, and loud. Everything I'm not. People loved her instantly. Teachers praised her, neighbors adore her, and my parents treated her like she was the sun in their sky. Me? I was the shadow. I worked 2 jobs, one at a local bakery and another cleaning offices at night. I never complained. I helped around the house, paid for groceries when my dad was short on money, and even handled some of our bills when things got tight. No one ever said thank you. But the biggest secret I carried was this. I was paying Mia's college tuition. Every month, like clockwork, I transferred the money directly to her school. My parents believed Mia had earned a scholarship, and she never corrected them. I didn't want the credit. I just wanted to help her succeed. I told myself I was being a good sister. I told myself one day they'd see, but they never did. Instead, Mia started spreading rumors. Subtle things at first. She told Mom I was moody, told Dad I slammed doors. Then one night, she faked a crying fit in the living room. I had just walked in from my shift when I heard her sobbing. I can't take it anymore. Emily makes me feel so unsafe at home. I froze. I hadn't said a word to her all day, but my parents didn't ask me what happened. They didn't even let me explain. My mom pointed to the door, her voice shaking with fury. You need to leave tonight. Dad didn't say a word. He just handed me a trash bag and told me to pack my things. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I stood there, stunned, while my world cracked open at the seams. I packed 2 bags, one with clothes, the other with my work laptop and a folder of important documents. I had no idea where I'd go. As I stepped out into the cold night, my mom's last words echoed behind me. You're the reason this house has no peace. I sat in my car for hours, parked 2 blocks away. My hands were shaking, my throat dry. But even through the pain, one thought hit me clearly. They had no idea. They had no idea I was the one paying for Mia's education. And now, I was done. I wasn't going to say a word. I wasn't going to beg or explain. I was just going to stop paying. And when that happened, everything would fall apart. I spent the next night sleeping in my car, parked behind a grocery store where I used to work part-time. It was cold, uncomfortable, and humiliating. But strangely, I felt free. For the first time in years, no one was yelling at me. No one was blaming me for things I didn't do. The next morning, I drove to the campus office where Mia went to school. I had the payment account login. I walked up to the front desk and said, I'd like to cancel all future tuition payments for Mia Carter. Effective immediately. The lady at the desk blinked, confused. Are you her mother? No, I said with a soft smile. I'm just someone who's done paying for people who don't deserve it. I walked out of there with a strange calmness in my chest. Later that afternoon, I called Zoe, my best friend since high school. We hadn't talked much lately. I'd been so caught up trying to keep everything afloat at home. But when she answered, I broke down. I told her everything. How I'd been kicked out. How I was paying Mia's fees. How I had nowhere to go. Zoe didn't hesitate. Come stay with me. No questions asked. Within an hour, I was at her small apartment, curled up on her couch with a warm blanket and a cup of tea. It was the first time in weeks I'd felt safe. The following days passed quickly. I started working extra shifts, saved every penny, and enrolled in an affordable event planning course online, something I'd always dreamed of doing. It gave me purpose, something to look forward to. Then a week later, it happened. Zoe came home holding an envelope. This came to my mailbox. Looks like it's from the college. I opened it and instantly recognized the header. Payment failure notification. The letter explained that due to missed payments, Mia's enrollment had been frozen. She wouldn't be allowed to attend classes until her balance was cleared. I chuckled, not with joy, but with justice. The next day, my phone exploded. Voicemails from Mom, angry texts from Mia, even a message from Dad that just said, "You selfish brat." I didn't reply to any of them. I wasn't going back to that house. Not after what they did. Not after they believed her lies. They were finally facing the truth, and I wasn't going to save them this time. For the next few weeks, I disappeared. No updates, no messages, no explanations. I blocked their numbers, blocked Mia, blocked Mom, even Dad. though I hesitated for a second before hitting the block button. Just a second. But that second passed, and the silence that followed felt peaceful. Meanwhile, my life slowly began to shift. Zoe encouraged me to finish my event planning certification. She even helped me design a simple website and shared my name with one of her clients who was throwing a retirement party. I was nervous. It was my first real project, but I poured my entire heart into it. I picked the colors, managed the decorations, coordinated the catering, and made sure everything ran on time. When the night ended, the client hugged me and said, "You made this the best night of my life." That compliment? It did something to me. It healed something small. Then, one morning, while sipping coffee with Zoe, a news piece popped up on her phone. She passed it to me with raised brows. Local college investigates fake scholarship paperwork. One student under review. I didn't need to read the name to know. It was Mia. Apparently, when I stopped paying, she had forged documents to pretend she was still on scholarship. But now that payment stopped and questions were asked, her lies unraveled. Mom and Dad must have been livid. But here's the best part. They still didn't know I was the one who had paid all those months. I had vanished from their lives, but my absence was louder than my presence ever was. 2 days after the article broke, I got an unexpected email. It was from the college's student affairs department. They wanted to confirm if I was the person who had been paying Mia Carter's tuition for the last year and a half. I replied with one sentence. Yes, I was. Within hours, I got another message, this time from the dean himself, thanking me for my honesty and cooperation. He said they had informed Mia's parents of the situation and would proceed with an academic review. I didn't reply again, but I knew the truth had finally reached home. That evening, Zoe came home with a smirk on her face. "You're going to love this," she said. "Your mom called my office." My heart paused. "What? Why?" She said she was just trying to understand where you went wrong. Then she asked for your address. I told her nothing. I laughed. For the first time in months, I laughed freely. Good. Over the next few days, I received email after email from my parents. Some angry, some desperate, some fake sweet. Mia even tried sending a voice message, crying about how hard her life had become. But not one of them said sorry. Not once did anyone admit they had been wrong. And that's how I knew they didn't miss me. They missed what I gave them. Money, support, silence. They missed having someone to blame. But that girl, she was gone. 2 months later, I got a call from a high-end venue downtown. One of the guests at the retirement party had referred me for an upcoming corporate gala. It was a big opportunity, exactly the kind of break I needed. I accepted the job, worked hard, and delivered an unforgettable evening. After that, the offers started coming in. Small weddings, birthday events, nonprofit galas. I found my rhythm. I built a business from scratch, step by step. One day, while finalizing centerpieces at an event, I noticed a familiar figure in the crowd. My mother. She was standing by the refreshment table, wearing a strange smile. Behind her, Mia looked smaller than I remembered, shoulders slouched, confidence gone. I stayed focused on my task. I didn't walk over. I didn't wave. Eventually, my mom made her way toward me. "Emily," she said softly, "we didn't know. We didn't realize how much you did for us." I looked her in the eye, calm, steady. "You didn't want to know," I said. "You believe the one who cried louder." She opened her mouth, maybe to explain, maybe to apologize, but I didn't wait to hear it. I turned and walked away. That night, after the event, I sat under the fairy lights in the courtyard, sipping lemonade. Zoe joined me and smiled. "You okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "For the first time, I really am."